I remember that day clearly. I remember the very, very first time we knew that there was any sort of a problem whatsoever was Labor Day weekend, 2006. I remember exactly where we were in the house, and I was helping Evan on with his boots. He had those rubber boots that the boys like to wear so much because they looked like firefighter boots, and he thought he was a firefighter. Just one of his many jobs. And I was helping him with this boot, and he said, "Mommy, my leg hurts." And I don't think he had ever complained about a thing ever. I mean, he wasn't that kid. So, that was a bit alarming to hear him say anything about something hurts, but always trying to stay positive. I said, "Oh, well, we've been wearing these boots a lot. Let's give him a break. You probably have, a little pull or something like that," or thinking to myself, growing pain, whatever. So we kind of dismissed it, but it absolutely found a home in the back of my head, thinking, what does this mean? Does it mean something? Does it not? And over the next few days, it got worse, and we took him to the pediatrician's office, who's a very smart woman, and he was crying. I mean, often you take your child who you think is uncomfortable or sick to the doctor, and they're playing and happy and laughing at the doctor's office. This time he was crying the whole time, which again was just not like him. He was such a happy kid. And she could see it was serious, so she gave us some painkillers and told us to go home and let us know what happens. And within a few more days, he would go through times where he would be running around and he'd be fine, and the next minute he wouldn't be. He wouldn't be fine. He'd be complaining, or he'd just stop running all of a sudden. And a few days after that, when he was playing on the floor, he couldn't get up anymore. He literally couldn't lift himself off the ground, and I would have to go help him and stay positive in that moment too, because you don't want to freak out on your son. You don't want to add to the anxiety. Although I don't know that he was anxious, he didn't show it outwardly. But anyway, we went back to the doctor, and her famous words that stick in my mind were, "Let me call someone smarter than I am," which is saying something, because I thought she was a very smart woman. Unbeknownst to me, she called Children's National Medical Center and said, "I have this kid presenting this way. What do you think?" And they said, "Get a CT scan of his abdomen." So that's what I did. That was the advice. I took Evan to get his CT scan and turned off my cell phone when we went in there, because it was radiology. And I'm scared to death. He's being fine. He's kind of doing his thing. Still in pain, but he just he mentions it every once in a while and maybe cries every once in a while. The next minute he's sort of distracted and kind of playing or something. So we finished his CT scan and left the hospital, and he had a complete and total meltdown in the parking lot. In hindsight, probably because he was exhausted, because he wasn't sleeping very well because of the pain. He was 3. Tantrums are absolutely on the roll call for the day. But it was, knock down, drag him out, he was just in a tizzy. And I just kind of watched him. And I thought, okay, let this play out right here before we get into the car. He'll sleep in the car. And that's what happened. He got into the car, he fell right to sleep. Great. So then we're driving out of the parking lot, and I thought to myself, I haven't turned on my cell phone again. So I turned on my cell phone, and messages from the doctor, multiple messages from the doctor, and multiple messages from you. And pulled over, listened to the message, and the first one I heard was from Gavin, and it said, "Hey, I don't know where you are right now, but give me a call, blah, blah, blah." Called him, and he said, "Yeah, the doctor has been trying to get in touch with you." I said I had to turn my cell phone off, and then we were a little delayed with the tantrum, and he said, we have to be admitted to Children's National Medical Center tonight. We need to get Evan in there. He's got a mass on his abdomen. And Evan was sound asleep in the back, but those words just, I mean, it was like an explosion in my head, and not not a hugely emotional, outwardly emotional person, but I was a mess. I was crying. I was hoping he wouldn't wake up because how would I explain this? I didn't want to alarm him. He slept the whole way home. I went through in my head every sort of scenario, trying to reassure myself it's just a mass that could be in anything, be taken out, and it's a memory a month from now. It could be the worst possible thing. I have no idea what a mass in the abdomen means. My head was all over the place.